Ambrose Bierce once said that doubt is the father of invention. Welcome to McBain Moments. Doubt, often in the form of the heretofore mentioned brain weasels, is often the thing that stops us from completing a goal. We don't think we can do it. Or there's a piece of it we don't think we can accomplish, and so we abandon the whole project. And so, with this doubt, as the doubt builds, it turns into anxiety. And so that anxiety prevents us from looking for the solution. Because once you get to that point, once the brain weasels get in there, it stops you from looking for the solution because you don't believe you can ever find one. Even though the solution might be very simple. It might be just on the other side of a door, metaphorically speaking. But you're not going to see it because you're too busy paying attention to the damn weasel. So I think Bierce really keyed in on what doubt should be. Doubt should be the impetus to find a creative, alternative solution. When you run into a roadblock, when you come into an obstacle, and they're going to happen, there isn't a goal out there that you're going to set out to achieve that you're not going to run into some sort of obstacle. Some obstacles are going to be really tiny, and some obstacles are going to be really big. And so you got to come up with a solution for it, or else you're never going to be able to progress. And once you stop progressing, you start to regress rapidly. So let your doubts, instead of letting the brain weasels run amok, let your doubts be the thing that gets you a creative solution to the problem. You know, there's always there's the log in the forest, and you're on a trail, and the tree falls in the forest, and there's a log there in front of you. You know, you got to get you have to get through past the log in order to proceed on your journey. And you've got a few options. You can go over the log, you can go under the log, you can go around the log, and these are the easy options. But maybe the tree is really long. Maybe it's a sequoia or a redwood. And so trying to go over it will be basically impossible, and trying to go under it will require a lot of digging, and you could be going for hundreds of meters before you can get around it, and then you might lose the trail, and boy, wouldn't that be tragic, because then you'd be lost. So you decide for an alternative. Maybe you can build a tunnel through it. And then not only have you gotten past the obstacle, albeit with a little more work than may have been strictly necessary, but you have a way for other people to get past that obstacle as well. So you can turn something that could have turned into a tragic failure into an even bigger success. And really that's what we're looking for, is we're looking to turn what would have been failures into future successes. Because success is only limited by imagination. Or I think it was Aesop who said, the level of our success is limited only by our imagination. That's why I keep notes in the background. The level of our success is limited only by our imagination. You can be as successful as you imagine. You can solve as many problems as you can come up with solutions for. And you can come up with amazing creative solutions. We only use a small bit of our brain. If you exercise your brain by coming up with solutions to new problems, it's going to look for more problems to solve, and you get that iterative snowball effect. This is why, maybe less than 1% of the population solves 90% of the population's problems. I mean, look at Elon Musk. The man has solved probably a dozen problems, major problems, or at least he has solutions to problems, and he keeps going. Because with every creative solution, his brain is iterating and coming up with more creative solutions to more problems. And we're all capable of doing this. We may not be as far along the trail as Elon Musk is, and no surprise, because, he's verifiably a genius. But that doesn't mean that we don't have our own inner genius. We just got to find it. There's a scientific fact called the Pareto distribution. And basically it is a mathematical representation of the snowball effect. And by the snowball effect, I mean you start at the top of a hill, like a big old ski hill or a sledding hill or something like that. And you pack a snowball. You set it on the ground and you give it a push, and it starts to roll. And sometimes you got to give it a little more of a push, but it'll keep rolling. And as it rolls, it collects more snow, like in the cartoons, where some mouse would set a little tiny snowball down a hill to hit the cat at the bottom of the hill, and by the time it hits the bottom of the hill, the snowball is huge and absorbs the cat. And maybe it goes through the cabin and continues rolling. Well, success works the same way. If you can get the ball rolling, it'll start to roll faster. Now, unfortunately, failure also works the same way. If the failure ball starts rolling and you let it continue to roll, it will build up and be much harder to stop. It's all about feedback loops. And so what you need to do is you need to focus on pushing the snowball of success while preventing the snowball of failure from ever getting off the ground, or more accurately, from rolling on the ground. And the fact of the matter is that it's hard to have one without the other, because as you move toward your success, you are going to meet failure. But what you can't do is let that failure stop you. And you can't let that failure roll into a giant ball that creates the environment that the brain weasels can build their burrows in. To quote Colin Powell, there are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. If you learn from the failure, the ball stops rolling. You can powder it up. These are the lessons I learned. You broke it down. So while nothing stops another ball from being formed, it has to form, which takes a lot longer. It's a lot harder to start this from scratch than it is to let something that's started build. Control your doubts. Build on your successes and learn from your failures. Keep going and never give up. This has been a McBain moment.